So welcome everybody to today's interview in the frame of our CESI Talks series. CESI Talks is part of our project, which is co-financed by the European Parliament. It is the WEEP project, and it is about bringing, political actors at EU level, but also political decision-making at EU level closer to our members and their affiliates, mainly the workers in the public sector. And this is why I'm particularly pleased to be able to welcome today Oliver Röpke. Oliver Röpke, trade unionist from Austria, and also the president of the workers group and the European Economic Social Committee. Oliver, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Klaus.
Oliver, as a key actor at EU level, what, according to you, is the advantage of being a worker in the European Union? Is it an advantage compared to other places in the world? And if so, why?
Well, I'm convinced that our economic and social model in Europe is unique compared to other countries and to other continents. So therefore, I would say it is an advantage being a worker in Europe, in the European Union, because workers enjoy the free movement within the European Union, and moreover, they enjoy a certain range of minimum rights, social rights, and this is unique compared to other economic rooms. But on the other hand, it doesn't mean that we cannot improve the living and working conditions of workers. On the contrary, I think there's an urgent need to speed up and to implement the European Pillar of Social Rights in order to keep the European Union such a good space and for workers and their families.
And as a trade unionist, when we look back now, it's almost been 2 years of pandemic situation. What were for you the main lessons learned?
The main lessons learned was, first of all, that the most vulnerable persons were the first who were hit by the crisis. So the lesson is we have to protect those people. We have to protect non-standard workers. We have to make sure that they enjoy the same set of social rights as regular workers do. And we have to increase the protection, health and safety at work, but also the participation of workers, collective bargaining coverage. We could see that those companies with a strong social dialogue and with a collective bargaining coverage managed much better this crisis than other companies. So actually, I would say our trade union agenda was confirmed by this crisis.
We speak a lot these days out of necessity, of course, of the green and digital transitions. I would say we trade unions will always demand a socially fair transition, especially when we think of the green transition. In how far do you think this is realistic? I mean, we have workers, we represent workers here, for instance, in the automotive sector, a sector which will have to totally radically change. How can we try at least to make sure that jobs and quality jobs can be kept? And I mean, I think this issue is so complex altogether. We may also sometimes question the feasibility of, let's say, simultaneously achieving economic growth, environmental protection, and of course, social progress. What do you say to that?
Well, I would say, first of all, we have no other option to the Green Deal. We have to manage this green transition. This is the first point. But we have to make sure that the promises made by politicians, no one should be left behind, that these promises will be realized. And at the moment, what is on the table, the proposals of the Green Deal, the Fit for 55 package, is unfortunately not sufficient. So we have to make sure that the reply of the EU to this Green Deal and to this huge challenge of green transition is not only upskilling, reskilling. We need much more. We need really an employment mapping for whole Europe, because the challenges for the different countries, and I would say for the different regions, are very different across Europe. So we have really to make sure that we have tailor-made solutions for the regions which are the most affected. That means we have to keep the industrial base, and we have to strengthen workers' participation. Without a strong workers' voice, we cannot manage the Green Deal, and by the way, also not the digital transition. So therefore, we need a stronger legal framework for consultation, information, and workers' participation. I think this is key. This is a key demand, not only of the workers' group, but also of the whole EESC. In several opinions, we asked the Commission to make an initiative in this regard.
So not transitions made to workers, but with workers would be the main credo in this case. Last question. We have the conference on the future of Europe taking place at this very moment. What do you think will be vital? Which developments or which changes maybe in the treaties should be fundamental? I don't believe so much in treaties amendments, but that's another issue. What do you think will be decisive for the EU to remain, first of all, but to remain stable in the coming years?
Well, when it comes to the conference on the future of Europe, we had a lot of criticism about the procedure. But I will not talk about the problems and about the procedure. I want to talk about our expectations. And I think working people across Europe expect tangible results which have really an impact on their daily life, on their working conditions, on their living conditions, on their wages. So this is important, tangible results, and not only empty words. So we had in one of our plenary sessions, Antonio Costa here, the Portuguese Prime Minister, and he said also focus on what really matters for working people. And this we are doing together with our trade union friends. We are also represented in the conference on the future of Europe in the plenary. And in the second stage, we have to see if institutional changes or even treaty changes are needed. If yes, then let's go for it. But first of all, let's focus on increasing and improving the working and living conditions, and once again to implement the European pillar of social rights. And if it comes really to treaty changes, then it's clear for us that there's one key demand. We want clearly priority for social rights, for fundamental social rights, including trade union rights, over economic market freedoms. And this can be achieved only through a so-called social progress protocol, which should be included in the treaties.
Oliver, thanks a lot. All the best to you. Take care of yourself, and I hope to see you soon in person again.
Same for me. Thank you very much, Klaus. Best regards to all the colleagues, and wish you a good time.